Many of this morning's must-read opinion pages are about tonight's January 6th hearing. Columnist David Brooks writes for the New York Times a piece entitled "The January 6th Committee Has Already Blown It." And David writes in part, thank you, David.
Come on, David, a little early, buddy. Let's wait for the first pitch.
Well, here's what he says. Sorry, boomers, but this is not the Watergate scandal in which we need an investigation to find out who said what to whom in the Oval Office. The horrors of January 6th were out in public. The shocking truth of it was what we saw that day and what we've learned about the raw violence since. The core problem here is not the minutia of who texted what to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows on January 6th last year. The core problem is that there are millions of Americans who have three convictions: that the election was stolen, that violence is justified in order to rectify it, and the rules and norms that hold our society together don't matter. Those millions of Americans are out there right now. I care more about their present and future activities than about their past. Well, I disagree, because I think what happened has to be laid out, because it is wrong. It needs to be defined as wrong for those Americans to see that they have been misled.
Well, a couple things. First of all, let's actually let the hearing start before saying they failed. Secondly, Willie, I think for polite society, I think for a lot of people in the media, I think for Democrats on both sides of Pennsylvania Avenue, they've got to readjust their thinking, and they have got to stop judging the success and failure of investigations or hearings or their efforts based on the reaction from people who get their news from Chinese religious cults, who actually believe that China put bamboo in Arizona ballots, that believe that an Italian dude with a satellite somehow rigged elections, that believe that Jewish space lasers, that the Rothschilds created a Jewish space laser. These are people in the United States Congress, by the way, and also people who believe that Jews, international bankers, Jews, have launched a replacement theory to replace white people with immigrants. Of course, we've talked about that time and time again. This has been a trend going on for 45 years. It has nothing to do with Jewish international bankers, has everything to do with the demographics of this country. But again, Democrats always freak out there. What do we do about these people? Might think these are people who believe that, like, pedophiles that are running Hollywood and Washington, D.C. These are people that caused that deranged guy to shoot up a pizza joint. I mean, this is not how you judge success or failure, and I think that's a mistake that too often polite society in Washington, New York, L.A., I think that's a mistake that they're making.
Each of those examples you laid out sounds like a South Park parody. Sadly, those were all real examples that you just laid out of things that Republicans and QAnon followers have said and believe. But yeah, you're right. It's obviously too soon to judge what happens tonight and going forward with this committee. They've put in a lot of work. It's been a year. We laid out all the statistics, all the documents they have, the new evidence, the witnesses that they've spoken to, the subpoenas they've issued. So let's watch it play out. And of course, there will be a large portion of this country that tunes it out. They won't get a chance to watch it tonight, for example, on Fox News. But there are an awful lot of people who don't pay attention perhaps as closely as we do, because it's our jobs, who will get to see it all in one place and get to make up their own minds.